News, here it is. Congress memo release. They're going to prison by Sassy Liberty for freedomdaily.com. Hashtag release the memo has the rallying cry for conservatives, Republicans, and those on the right for the FBI / FISA / Russia memo. We have been shouting it from the rooftops publicly, lobbying Intelligence Chairman Devin Nunes for the release of the memo for the last few days, and it seems we are finally being heard. Many members of Congress themselves taking to social media themselves to lobby for the public release of the memo. Men like Representative Dave Joyce of the 14th District of Ohio who tweeted, "Great news! Our efforts to hashtag release the memo have been effective, and the HPSIC plans to begin the process to release the FBI FISA Russia memo. This may take up to 19 plus congressional workdays, but Americans deserve to know the truth." Zero Hedge reported all hell is breaking loose in Washington, D.C., and rightfully so, after a 4-page memo detailing extensive FISA court abuse was made available to the entire House of Representatives Thursday. It demonstrates that the government views our Fourth Amendment as simply words on paper, and the contents of the memo are so explosive it could and most definitely should lead to the removal of senior officials in the FBI and the Department of Justice and the end of Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation. Representative Matt Gaetz on FISA memo, "I think this will not just end with firings. I believe there are people who will go to jail. Hashtag release the memo." As results of this revelation, many House Republicans approached Speaker Paul Ryan about incorporating a vote to make public this explosive new FISA abuse memo as part of a government shutdown negotiations. The 4-page document circulated to the full House detail the egregious abuses of surveillance by the FBI, DOJ, and Obama administration against the Trump campaign during and after the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Led Zeldin, just read the classified doc. HPSCI reference FISA abuse. I'm calling for the immediate public release with relevant source material. The public must have access ASAP. Hashtag transparency. Release the classified info. Doesn't compromise good sources and methods. It reveals the Fed's reliance on bad sources and methods. Ron DeSantis, the classified report compiled by the House Intelligence, it's deeply troubling and raises serious questions about the upper echelon of the Obama DOJ and Comey FBI and as it relates to the so-called collusion investigation. While the report is classified as top secret, I believe the Select Committee should, pursuant to House rules, vote to make the report publicly available as soon as possible. This is a matter of national significance, and the American people deserve the truth. The revelations contained within this Republican majority-authored report is astounding, to say the least. Representative Matt Gaetz describes it as jaw-dropping and demands full transparency, while the top-ranking Democrat on the House Intel Committee, Adam Schiff, attempts to dismiss the memo as little more than profoundly misleading talking points drafted by Republican staffers. Schiff calls it rife with factual inaccuracies and referencing highly classified material that most Republican Intelligence Committee members were forced to acknowledge they had never read. This is meant only to give Republican House members a distorted view of the FBI. This may help carry White House water, but it is a deep disservice to our law enforcement professionals. As reported by Bloomberg, Gaetz said the effort was led by Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows of North Carolina and caucus co-founder Jim Jordan of Ohio. Jordan confirmed that some conservatives have highlighted in continuing resolution talks that it was extremely important that the memo go public. He said it was not something they were requiring of the Republican leadership in return for votes, but it was something we definitely talked about that needs to happen, Jordan added. Meadows earlier referred to subplots of promises the Freedom Caucus was able to extract from the leadership before he agreed to support the continuing resolution. Mr. Meadows and Mr. Jordan and many conservatives want to include in this negotiation a requirement that the House make public intelligence documents that highlight the unfair treatment of the president by the FBI and the Justice Department, Gates said. Gates said he couldn't describe the contents of the entire memo put together by the House Intelligence Committee because to do so would reveal classified information in the absence of a vote to do so. He said, it just 218 votes and the American people can read this intelligence information that goes to the fundamentals of our democracy. Part of me wishes that I didn't read it because I don't want to believe that those kinds of things could be happening in this country that I call home and love so much, said Meadows. Other Republican congressmen have weighed in with their opinions as well, expressing their disgusted, most notably Representative Steve King, stating, I have read the memo. The sickening reality has set in. I no longer hold out hope. There is an innocent explanation for the information the public has seen. I have long said it is worse than Watergate. It was hashtag never Trump and hashtag always Hillary, hashtag release the memo. Calls for the memo release have dominated social media since its existence was made known, with many suggesting it be leaked in a similar fashion to Dianne Feinstein's publication of transcripts of a closed-door testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee by opposition research firm Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson. Donald Trump Jr., hey Adam Schiff, you were very vocal after and almost certainly leaked info during my private testimony. All of a sudden you are rather quiet about this memo. I thought you were all about transparency. Hashtag full of Schiff, hashtag release the memo. Mark Meadows here. I viewed the classified report from House Intel relating to the FBI FISA abuses, the infamous Russian dossier, and so-called Russian collusion. What I saw was absolutely shocking. This report needs to be released. Now Americans deserve the truth. Hashtag release the memo. Truth in government. There are 60 million plus Americans about to be red-pilled like the Matrix. Their entire reality is about to come crashing down. Nothing they think they know to be true it's all been a lie. Representatives Jody Hice of Georgia 10th District joined the call for transparency to release the memo, stating by way of social media earlier this morning, I examined the classified 4-page memo from House Intel Committee regarding the FBI, DOJ, and so-called Russian collusion. To put it simply, wow. I joined the call to hashtag release the memo. Americans deserve the truth and transparency. Representative Ron DeSantis states of the memo and the necessity to release it to the American people. While the report is classified as top secret, I believe the Select Committee should, pursuant to House rules, vote to make the report publicly available as soon as possible. This is a matter of national significance, and the American people deserve to know the truth. Let's just take a quick listen here to the film clip. I guess not. Oh, here we go.
I think that this will not end just with...
Sorry about that. Maybe if I move a little bit. well, this is not working. Hold on a second, maybe it'll start. I guess not. Well, you can get the gist of what's going on. I don't understand why it's not playing, but I have it on my other vids where it's playing. But as you can see, it is frightening, the info that's being put out now, and a lot of you guys were saying, I hope none of the info is redacted, which I'm hoping the same.
I think that this will not end just with...
I guess not. It doesn't want to, but I'm more than sure you guys have seen Matt Gaetz'
hearings. I believe there are people who will go to jail. I was very persuaded by the evidence, and it also became clear to me why Chuck Grassley and Lindsey Graham felt it so important to refer this matter for criminal prosecution. You don't get to try to undermine our country, undermine our elections, and then simply get fired. So I think there will be criminal implications here, and we have to underscore the point that you and Jim Jordan just made. Every single Democrat on the Intelligence Committee voted against even allowing other members of Congress to see this information. So you know they're going to fight against release to the American people. What are the Democrats so afraid of? Why don't they want the American people to know the truth about what was going on with the government, how that impacted the president, his transition, his campaign? And it just seems interesting to me that Democrats don't want us to know what the entire basis was in the first place for the Mueller probe. They want to drag this out through the midterm elections to try to embarrass this president and distract this Congress from the critical work we've got to do to save this great country. Let's release the documents.
Details. Do you conclude that Mueller, the whole issue of Trump-Russia collusion never should have come up? Does Mueller need to disband?
Absolutely. This was a lie built on corruption, built on a sham. The entire investigation is a fiction. It's a fallacy. And when the American people see how this began, when the American people see how different people interacted with one another, how organizations were infected and infiltrated and subjected to tremendous bias of individuals, and how that really played out, I think that every American will understand how absolutely ludicrous it is that we continue to allow the Mueller probe to go forward. It needs to end because the entire basis is a lie.
I know from my sources, Sarah, that they're saying this should result in the immediate firing of Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, Bruce Hoare, also Andrew McCabe. I have some questions. Where does Rod Rosenstein stick in this equation, the one that appointed the special counsel? Did he? Because we now know the dossier, the phony Clinton bought and paid for dossier, that was used for the...
And I say, charge Mueller for everything that it cost for this investigation, because he is continuing this investigation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.